Good morning, everyone. Dan is here. Thank you so much for joining. It is a very special day. I am very happy for those who have chosen to start their weekend off with your new leader. As you guys probably know, there is a power vacuum in this corner of the internet, corner of the online universe. And I'm here to talk about what's going on, what's happened this past week, and also speak to you, my loyal constituency, because Dan, and we're jumping right into it, but I want you to know that $2 Dan, the prince that was promised, I am a benevolent leader here for you. And we've got a lot to talk about. There's a few things. I don't know if you guys saw the Looney Tunes critic video. We're going to definitely play that in a little bit, but I do want to speak to everyone about the elephant in the room before we do that, before we get into any fun stuff, because it's not all going to be Game of Thrones illusions today. But I do want to acknowledge this moment, because this is a moment. This is a moment that historians will write about someday. They will look back on this day, maybe not this show per se, because frankly, they always say it's difficult and you should never want to follow a great man's shoes and be in their shoes. And that's the conundrum that I face today. A great man has decided to walk away, to descend from the throne, and to go off to the Valhalla, for lack of a better analogy or illusion. That one person is John Edward Melendez, my good friend John Edward Melendez, Stuttering John to some of you. John and I have begun a friendship that I hope will continue for a very, very long time. Hopefully in perpetuity, for as long as we shall be on this mortal coil together. John Melendez is, once again, a great man. Despite what his detractors will tell you, despite the lies and the muckraking that goes on around these parts, John is a loyal man. He is a great friend, and he's a great ally, and someone who I have learned a lot from. And I want to thank John for the short time that we've been together. For it's difficult. It's difficult to make friends in this world. You hear the Shmuel Buckmans of the world, and you would think that everyone is his friend, but they're not really his friends, are they? They're acquaintances that they meet at these events. But I do truly feel, and I think John, if you asked him this, John Edward Melendez is not just a podcast partner. He's not just a confidant, but he is a strong and close friend, and someone that I look forward to doing many things together. I'll go down to Florida. We'll probably hit up Stevie Tomatoes, maybe go see a ball game. When he's up in Boston visiting his children in school, we will find a way to do something together, maybe go to a Red Sox game. And if John does decide to come back at some point, I will happily hand the reins back to John, and we'll pick up right where we left off. People ask, why do you keep saying the long game? The long game is a peaceful process of power, a peaceful exchange and transition of power. There's no gap right now. So John has, as you probably all know, has handed me the keys to the kingdom, and I will steadfastly proceed in his absence for as long as that for as long as that shall be. And I will continue to fight the good fight that John has been fighting for all these years, to call out the treachery, the tyranny, the evil that is in the Dabbleverse. You know who those people are. Some big, some small. Some are worse than others. Some have employed people that do things that are evil, that have been exposed to the world that we all know about, and some that continue to surround themselves with people that are evil, people that go to events and do awful, unspeakable acts. My leadership, my administration, if you call it that, will be about getting back to basics, to living in a God-fearing world where we respect people, we respect women and children, and we do not act in a manner unbefitting of men, because we are a group run by men and strong women. We do not hurt children. We do not push our perverted worldview on others. And we level up. We bring a level of normalcy, of peace, of a place that you can be proud to say that you're part of. Because for a very long time, this is a place that people have not wanted to be feeling proud to be a part of. We're going to change that. We're going to level up in the dab. The Dabbleverse has been, shall we call it, or I would call it, a lawless wasteland run by a cabal. Well, I don't like that word. That word has bad connotations. Let's call it oligopoly. Is that the right word? Oligarchs. There are oligarchs that are trying to control this place. But only one person can rule. Time has told us this. A triumvirate will never stand. It will never stand the test of time. One strong person must always rise to the top and provide leadership and guidance. That one person is me. Petty kings, drunk knights, court jesters, masquerading as rulers. I'm here to tell you, I'm the only one that can unify and destroy the evil that is in this place. Do I want peace? No. I want order through fear, and I want order through justice. I look around the landscape of this land. Who are these podcasts? The Shuli networks, the puppet shows, the obese people with back problems, the washed up stand-up comedians. And I ask myself, is this the best that we can do? Why would we listen to these fools? Why would we accept their view of the world? We can do better. There are a lot of smug, arrogant people that have risen to power, not because of their talent, not because of the value that they bring to this place or their care for their audience. They've never fought in a real war. I have. People born with a silver spoon in their mouth just because they just happen to come along during COVID or at the right time. And they kissed the right amount of ass. And they bought the right amount of bot viewers. And they rigged the system to make it look like they were the ones that were in control. But they never really were in control. They've always been sitting on a house of cards. We're going to knock that house of cards out now. You see people like Carl Heberger, as an example. A podcast empire built on the scraps of other men's content. Carl Eberger can't create anything original himself. Everything must be derivative and taken from someone else and repackaged with his chuckling group of clowns. He's a court critic. He's not a king. You've got Jenny sitting at his side, the court jester that forgot she's not royalty. Oh, Jenny, I've been watching the last couple of weeks. You've been talking about me a lot. Jenny Jingles just came out of nowhere since I've come on the scene, and she seems to have a lot to say about me. Jenny, now we're going to have a lot to say about you. See, that's how this works. When people try to ascend and try to act like they're in control and put themselves out there, they open themselves up. Carl, you don't run a kingdom. You run a Yelp review with a microphone. Let me talk a little bit about Lucy Tightbox, shall we? Lucy, the paralegal superstar. Lucy's had a lot to say about me as well. A lot of uneducated, ill-informed things to say. Never asking for my comment on things, never asking for my side of things, just jumping in like the catty paralegal that she is. For those that don't know, paralegals cosplay as lawyers. They're not really lawyers. They didn't go to law school. They just make coffee for lawyers. So that's Lucy Tightbox. She's the gossip queen. And she sits beside Carl, just like the red woman sat beside Stannis Baratheon, whispering in his ear, tempting him, telling him lies, telling him to burn people. Every kingdom has someone like that, the useless whisperer. The whisperers die in a fire. We'll talk a little bit more about Lucy in a little bit when we get into Looney Tunes Critic. Spoiler alert. Big market tease. Lucy doesn't really fight the wars. She just sits on the sidelines and hurls little arrows out there every once in a while from her little bow. She narrates from her account. She's not really a warrior. Oh, and then there's TV's Will Heron. Shall we talk about TV's Will Heron a little bit? TV's Will Heron is a great example of someone who I had no issue with till about 2 days ago. TV's Will Heron, you think about like a Game of Thrones, he seems like one of these feudal lords of a small kingdom, shows up to the big banquet with a big belly, looking for a lamb chop or looking for a feast. He shows up when the feast is ready, but then he disappears when the battle starts. TV's Will Heron, you're not ready to be on the front lines, brother. You're not ready for this smoke. People like TV's Will Heron are the kind of people that should probably reach out to me in the next 48 hours, bend the knee, and beg for forgiveness. And I will extend that to any of my enemies. You have 48 hours to either publicly or privately reach out to me, bend the knee, and ask for forgiveness. Ask for mercy. Because I will be a merciful leader. But this is the last chance that you have. Because there will be a list. I will track those who defy me. You will be on that list. And the list will grow by the day. Trust me, you don't want to be on that list. Talk about the list. There will be no more confusion about where you stand with me. No more gray area. You're either with me or you're against me. Choose wisely. If you want to know if you're on the list, you can always ask. Maybe I'll even share it at some point. But there will be a list, and I will be checking it daily. So, what is your call to action? What do you want to take away from today under this new leadership regime? Once again, I'll reiterate to my enemies, I would invite you to publicly submit your apologies to me. For those that may have wronged me, for those that may have insulted me personally or people close to me personally, people that have made backhanded comments, people that have disrespected me in any way, shape, or form. You could pay me a tribute if you'd like, or not. An apology will suffice. A pledge of loyalty would also be well received as well. I am, at the end of the day, a merciful and forgiving leader. But I will only forgive once, and I will only show mercy once. You can kneel today, or you can crawl tomorrow. And that's about all I have to say about that. T.O. Hank, who 331 for 199. I think T.O. Hank might be at the big Rodney's event. We could talk about the Rodney's event here in a second as well. I want to hear what people's thoughts are on that. Another thing, and I maybe forgot to mention this during my opening monologue. One thing that you will see more from me, as I've been giving this a lot of thought, is we will be doing a lot more audience participation, and not just super chats. I mean, obviously, super chat me, you will definitely get read. You'll get right to the top of the list. But this is definitely meant to be an audience-driven show. And you know what? I've kind of gotten away from that a little bit. Well, let me read this, and then I'll get back to that comment. T.O. Hank 331 for 199. Thank you, T.O. Hank. This is a joke, right? Do I look like I'm kidding? You tell me. Is it a joke? I guess there's only one way to find out, right, Tio? Definitely the content of the show going forward is really going to be two things. Whatever the fuck I want to talk about is one thing. And that typically will be this Saturday morning show. And then criticism of the Dabbleverse will be the other one. Make no mistake, I'm not, this is not really a Dabbleverse show. There will be Dabbleverse topics, and of course, taking over for John and being the person that is the ombudsman of the nefarious behaviors in the Dabbleverse. Yeah, I guess that makes you in the Dabbleverse, but I don't really consider myself a Dabbleverse show. I'm not going to go to events. I don't go to Hackamania. I don't go to any of these events. I'm not going to Rodney's. Maybe one day I'll show up at one of them. Maybe. There are some people that I like, but most people I don't like. I don't really want to be friends with hosts because that makes me compromised. And I don't ever want to be compromised. I want to be able to tell you, the audience, the truth. And that's the thing that you should feel good about with me is I'm not afraid to call out bullshit. I won't protect anyone. If you diddle kids, I'm going to fucking tell everybody. I'm not going to defend you. If you're a creep, you ain't in my crew. Okay? If you're a piece of shit, if you're smug, if you're a cunt, I'm going to call you a cunt. Whether you're a man, a woman, whether you're powerful, whether you're big show, small show, nobody, Hell, I'll call out chatters. You want to be a mouthy chatter? I'll fucking call you out too. So there will definitely be a lot of that. And people are going to say, oh, Dan just wants to get attention. Oh, every show wants to get attention, you fucking idiots. Dan's grifting. Dan's, trying to get attention. Yeah, that's what you all do. Shmuel Buckman, you do that too, you fucking disingenuous old bastard. It will be funny if Shmuel gets doxxed tonight. I know Kevin Brennan's trying to do that. When are you going scorched earth on Deadweight Deb? Deborah. Try to play nice with Deb. Tried to just let it go. Tried to be the bigger man. You know how that works out sometimes. But sometimes these broads, man, I tell you. Look at Megan Thee Stallion and Klay Thompson. Instead of just breaking up and going their separate ways, Megan Thee Stallion's got to throw a few jabs in at Klay Thompson on the way out. Call him a cheater, call him a this or that, liar. Bitch, you're ratchet. Klay Thompson can get a million Megan Thee Stallions. You're nothing to Klay Thompson. Now, I'm not calling Deb ratchet. I'm not calling her a hoe like Megan Thee Stallion. But at some point, a strong man has to analyze the situation. And strong men need a supportive woman at their side. And that's not necessarily just like marriage relationship. It's any sort of relationship, like your work wife, for lack of a better term, because that's kind of what Deb was. Exactly. There's a million Megan Thee Stallions, and there's only one Klay Thompson. There's a million Debs, but there's only one of me, baby. It's hard, and full disclosure, it's hard to be in this game and have like a partner. Deb kind of got a little big for her britches. What I needed from Deb was not what she was delivering for me. And initially that's nobody's fault, really. It's hard, and maybe I didn't do a good job as the de facto boss of stating the lines, making the lines clear. They got a little blurred. Deb was never meant to be really an equal partner, but I think she started thinking that she was. When really you're kind of, the sidekick, along for the ride. I'll talk more about Deb, and I don't want to make this. I don't want to get too Deb centric today because shit could get a little weird. Shades Cal, who's the new Deb? You want to apply? I'm looking for a strong sister. I could use a strong sister at my side here, if you're interested. No, we'll be solo. This will be solo for a while. We might have some rotating guests here and there, but yeah, there's not going to be a new Deb anytime soon. But yeah, I don't want to talk about, the drinking, the lack of clear communication, the unreliability, the trampling on me when I'm trying to talk, the inconsistencies, the patterns of behavior that just made me feel uncomfortable. I mean, even my wife kind of called it out. She's like, this Deb chick's bad mojo. And when your wife sees that, and she doesn't even watch the show, but she just knew. She knew something was off with Deb. And I knew it all along, and I kind of, sometimes you're pot committed, you're in it long term. It's hard to cut ties. It's hard to admit you were wrong. Hard to go in a different direction. Hard, you don't want to hurt somebody's feelings. You're in a partnership or relationship. It's hard to just tell someone like, this ain't working out. This ain't good for me. You're not delivering what I need from you. And sometimes sometimes you got to be cruel to be kind. Sometimes you got to just say, this ain't working. Okay. But I wish her well. I truly do. I hope she gets 1 million subscribers, 1 million views, makes tons of money. I hope that everybody watches Sunday Brunch. I know she does a Sunday Brunch show tomorrow. She'll probably be talking shit about me with other people. She loves to invite people on that don't like me, and then they talk shit about me and call me names. So, but check that out. Deb's Sunday Brunch tomorrow. Help her get up to 500 subscribers. I know she's still trying to get monetized. She does have the super tips. That was another thing. She was so adamant about doing the super tips. I was like, no fucking way. I'm not doing super tips. No way. Never. I'm not going into business with those fucking shady characters. Never. Never. Let me say that again. Never. I will never use the super tip system. I will never do business with Melton and Moody. Those people are scumbags. Why would you ever want to do business with those fucking guys? It's a show killer. Chow's right. They can send $0 super tips and disrupt your show and say whatever they want. And like, it's not fucking cool. So you can make a couple other bucks. I'm not doing this. I don't have any, dreams of this. I don't know. I just have different motivations than other people. Ooh, well, I'm only going to pay 10% versus 30% to, whatever. Who cares? I don't fucking care. I don't even know how much I make off YouTube. I don't even, it pops in my Bank of America account. I don't even know how much it is. A couple $100 here and there. It doesn't move the needle for me. Maybe someday it will. Maybe someday I'll have 2,000 fake viewers like Shuli, and then I'll have to track of like, okay, all right, how many bots did I buy this month? How many fake memberships did I buy? How many fake super chats from the Varney Army did I do? So that's my liability. Then how much it came in? How many suckers sent in money? Okay, what's the difference? Okay, what's the percentages? How much super chips, super sets? So yeah, they're doing a lot of accounting because of all the shenanigans that they do and the money laundering and all that stuff. I'm not doing any money laundering, so I don't have to do the math. I don't have to come up with fake businesses and shell accounts and Argentinian bank accounts to buy, 50,000 memberships at, 10 cents a pop. I don't have to come up with fucking gimmicks because I'm not playing that game. Can people not fight in the chat? Can we all get along?